God damn. That boy fast. Hola muchachos, welcome to another race review brought to you by Fox's horrible coverage of the race. Again. Man. I feel kind of bad for Clint Boyer. He's actually trying to be funny and everything, but it's just like the Fox producers just go out there and say, "Hey man, you do you. We have no plan, no talking points, no path, just you do you." that I don't know what they talk about in the meetings. That's honestly what it feels like when they broadcast the race, but only one more to go until NBC, and then hopefully NBC is a little bit more serious with the broadcasting. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed their Sunday. This morning was a very, 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 very good F1 race at Baku, which Baku always delivers. So very, very, very fun there. I think I got a lot of heat on Twitter from NASCAR fans this morning because if you just watch one F1 broadcast, man, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And I've been saying this for years. It's just so much better. But in terms of NASCAR, I mean, what can we say? It was an all right race. Those Hendrick cars are so fast. It's genuinely scary to see sometimes. I saw something. I don't know if you guys picked up on this. It was when Fox used the drone shot, and they were going through the carousel, and I was looking specifically, and this is when Elliott and Larson were making their way through the field after, pitting after some sort of stage. I don't know. It was somewhere in the middle of the race. And they were going through the carousel. And when they got off the carousel, so when you have the throttle down and you're driving up off the carousel, I visibly, I just looked at those two cars real quick. And I looked at everyone else in the field. And I could visibly see those two cars specifically. Their rear ends would just step out and they would look loose, but they wouldn't correct the car. So it just stepped out. They had the side force on the right side. They weren't loose. They had to drive off, and it just drove up off the corner like it was nothing. And that was really, I don't know if I'm the only one that saw that, or maybe I was just imagining things, but I'm telling you, man, those Hendrick cars have found something in the rear end housing. That thing absolutely scoots off a corner. I mean, it is ridiculous. I'd love to actually watch the footage back when Fox went to that drone cam through the carousel. If I could go watch that footage back, because, man, there is something on that car. That the rear end housing on that car, they got that thing hooked up. And so it's very, very clear when you saw Elliott and Larson, they were just on fire, especially Larson. I mean, no one was touching him this race. Truex, who's usually the dominant guy at Sonoma, that's his best road course, couldn't get within 3 seconds of Larson. I mean, it was ridiculous how fast Larson was. And it's not actually that surprising. Remember, when Larson was at Chip Ganassi Racing, he'd qualify on pole, and then the car would just suck, and he'd go straight to the back. So even though it has only been less than half a season, I think I can confidently say that it seems like Larson was outperforming his equipment by a country mile at CGR, gets into the Hendrick equipment. Hendrick is doing extremely well this year, so it's kind of like the perfect storm. But Larson has good equipment now, and he's just absolutely destroying the field at some of these races. It's not even close in terms to speed. Shout out to Cliff Daniels, his crew chief, and that whole 5 team, because even within the Hendrick brigade, there's something different about that 5 car. It is crazy. It could be the driver. I've been so high on Kyle Larson ever since he came into the sport. I always believed he was wasting time at CGR. It's going to take a few years to see. The sample size is too small. But if you go 4 or 5 years down the line, kind of like how we see Kevin Harvick with SHR. So we can see that Kevin Harvick really just never had the equipment at RCR. Then he went to SHR, had the equipment, and then he kind of, went on from there. Larson, 4 to 5 years from now, we can compare those years at Hendrick to the years at Ganassi, and we can really see how much was it the equipment holding him back and just how many races he can win. What is the 3rd win on the season? I mean, he's just, he should have more too. I mean, he's leading an insane amount of laps in all these races. It's just amazing. And I mean, what else can you say? It's really crazy to see. And I just laugh every single time. I just laugh because Ford just didn't want him. Toyota just didn't want him. And guess what? Now he's kicking everyone's ass. So you asked for it. You let him go to Hendrick. This is what you asked for. All right, have fun. See you later. I mean, he's championship favorite already. It doesn't even matter what the championship track is. You go to a short track. You go to a road course. You go to a speedway. I mean, the only track that probably Larson wouldn't be the favorite is we put Daytona as the championship race. You know what? Why not? Let's just throw Daytona as the championship race. We already do everything else stupid. Why not do it? But yeah, fantastic race from Kyle Larson. I think I'm going to end it there for him. Next, this is something I actually want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to go kind of quick on these two subjects. The broadcast, guys, I think there's actually good racing on the track. Like, I actually, for 30 minutes, I muted the broadcast, okay? And this isn't a shot at Mike Joy, Gordon, and Boyer. It's not really their fault. I just muted the broadcast just so I could kind of just focus in on, like, what am I being shown from the camera. And there are good battles there. It's just sometimes, camera doesn't pick up on certain things, and obviously commercials breaks don't help. When you get so used to watching an F1 race with no commercial breaks, and then you come back and let's say Kyle Larson passing Truex for the lead, that's not even shown. That's being shown during a commercial break. You have to wait for a commercial break to see a replay of a camera shot that's not even a good camera shot of watching Kyle Larson get past Martin Truex Jr. Not enough radio communication. Obviously, I want to hear more radio communication. Again, something that F1 does really well. You can always hear the radio playback. You can hear it clearly, too, because they actually have decent radios in their cars. So you can always hear the radio playback. Every driver has an onboard camera, so if anything happens throughout the field, you can always go back to that onboard camera. That's also not the case in NASCAR. All these things broadcast-wise, F1 does a country mile better. Not including the telemetry that Sky Sports brings, that is superior to what Fox does for NASCAR. Not including the graphics that Sky Sports has. It's just a lot better. And for those of you that watch F1, let me know what you think about that. Second thing, I want to touch real quick on this because next week we're going to Texas. Oh, man. I'll be honest. I don't know if I'm going to watch that race. I don't remember the last Texas race I watched. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It must have been 2019? I don't know. I don't remember the last Texas race I watched, guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it, but just to point out real quick, the All-Star race is next week, and I just want to point out that the All-Star race used to be really fun. It was for $1 million. I would actually really look forward to, like, for example, a little bit before the race when the drivers would come out to music and do some certain things, they'd be introduced, right? That was always really cool. And then that's now basically gone. And then they used the All-Star race as a test session. I remember that when they wanted to test the 550 horsepower package at the All-Star race. So basically saying, oh, who cares about the All-Star race? We'll just use this as a test session for the rest of the season. So then they went and did that. And now they put it at the worst track possible, literally. The worst track possible. I don't even know if this is good for Texas in losing points race and getting an all-star race. I'm not even sure. But yeah, if I were you guys living in Texas, please don't go to that race. Please do not support that facility at the moment. That is a garbage racetrack. I understand the facility might have good hospitality. I've heard about that a lot. The hospitality is good. I've been to Daytona many times. I know what good hospitality is like. You're not going to get a better fan experience than Daytona, okay? So however good Texas is, trust me, I can imagine it because I've been to Daytona. I understand just how good the facility can be. Please do not support this facility until they get their crap together. The track president or promoter, Eddie Gossage, is gone. He's retiring. Until that track gets their act together, whether they go back to the old configuration, B, rip it all up and put it into a short track, C, just rip it all up together and go somewhere else, just don't support that. It is a pathetic racetrack, a pathetic facility. It's going to be a pathetic race. You can play this back next week. It ain't gonna, there is no way that race next week is going to be good. And that's a shame because it's the All-Star race. I love the All-Star race. The last few years, it's kind of lost its prestige. The $1 million is kind of like, whatever anymore. And it just isn't really. And I don't even know what the format is. We're going to another format of whatever. I think there were like 6 different stages or something. I don't know what's going on. So you have that in it. Yeah, I don't know what that event has become. All I know is I just don't want to deal with Texas Motor Speedway. So I'm not sure if you'll see me next week, but we'll see. Real quick, a few shout-outs. Daniel Suarez finished 12th. Eric Jones finished in 11th. Ross Chastain finished in 7th after turning or spinning out in the hairpin and then cutting the entire hairpin, maintaining his position. I don't really know how that worked, but he finished 7th, and a lot of good runs. Joey Logano had a pretty good run in 4th. Kurt Busch finally got a decent result so actually CGR did pretty good. Trip Ganassi Racing 6th and 7th, so they actually did good for once. Good finishes there. And yeah, that'll be Corey LaJoie. Corey LaJoie finished 18th, and he actually had a pretty decent run as well. So good job to him as well. That's gonna be it for me. I will see you guys later. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Patreon supporters, sorry that your shout out came a little bit later here, but here it is. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Of course, this is coming out Sunday night for you guys, and then Monday morning on YouTube. So enjoy the rest of your evening or the rest of your Monday, whichever one you are watching this from. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your night/day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.